just thought we'd bring you another update from what's happening around here. You will have seen, no doubt, you'll have been following the tier levels as we have in the north of England and moving down into the Midlands, what's happening in the other devolved nations of the UK. And this week we heard that the City of Oxford was moving up to a tier 2 level. Of course, this is of great concern when we move to upper tier because it means there's no household mixing, which is inevitably going to have a big negative effect on pubs. So we'd urge you, please, if you can, still support your pub, but it's going to be really hard for those people who have moved to tier 2, because why do we go to the pub? Of course we drink and we may eat, but we actually go to the pub to socialise and then drink and then maybe eat. So to take away that whole sociability is going to be very, very difficult. So we're busy trying to see how we can support our pubs, and the danger, of course, is whether that moves out from the city into the county, and indeed our other pubs in Warwickshire, Northamptonshire, Gloucestershire and Worcestershire, watching what carefully happens there. And do the government really think that people aren't going to mix in households domestically? I think they're even more deluded than I perhaps gave them credit for if they think that's going to happen. People are going to just ignore the legislation. There's lots of lockdown fatigue in there, and I think rather than move from one tier to another tier to another tier, we need to look at why the lower tiers might not be working if they're not working. Pubs are part of the solution, not part of the problem. Less than 3% of transmission of COVID is happening in pubs, less than 3%. And those of you that have been in a pub will have seen you're wearing your mask when you enter and when you move around. If you go to use the bathroom, you're sanitising your hands and your table service in your group of 6. So it's a safer environment, as I think anybody could create, for a small group of people to get together. So we'd like to see the household mixing not apply to pubs, because it does provide that environment where people can still socialise, but it can be managed because pubs have a number of levels of legislation they have to conform to, as well as obviously the latest COVID guidance. So pubs, they're part of the solution, not part of the problem. Clearly Christmas is looming, and we don't want to have the situation where we can't mix households then. So there we are, really. It feels like a pincer movement, it feels like it's coming by stealth, and it feels like it may well get worse before it gets better. But we're here to look after everybody, look after all of our customers, thank all of our consumers for continuing to enjoy their beers, and we will get through this. It's really, really hard. This is the biggest existential threat to this company in the last 171 years. During 2 world wars, there weren't full pub closures. In fact, pubs were kept open to provide some place of solace for people with everything that was going on around them. So this business, brewing business, is based on science. So maybe we could ask the government to start to follow the science a bit more, and let's have some sensible, coherent plans that will work, so that we can come out of this together and stronger. So we're working very hard here. Thank you everybody very much. Keep smiling, we're doing our best too. We'll get through this, we'll come out the other side. It will be different, but we'll come through.